In the year of our Lord 2024, I cannot fucking believe that Inner Sloth is making a free Miles Edgeworth skin for download in Among Us. And right before my birthday, too. Thank you, Inner Sloth. That's crazy. Hi, welcome back to Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. That's crazy. The last time we finished Recipe for Turnabout, obviously Maggie didn't do it. It was Furio Tigre. We had to be really sneaky about it. Sneaky, sneaky. And this time we're starting a new case called Turnabout Beginnings, which I'm really excited for. I love this case. This is what we were about to play. This is the first Ace Attorney case I ever played. Yeah, isn't that crazy? The first Ace Attorney case I ever played. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, yeah, I'm so hyped. I don't think I have anything to really add except, hi, welcome to the Sunday night schedule. For the VOD people, this means nothing, but until further notice, this will be when I do my second Ace Attorney stream, just because it works out that way with work. I work a Monday to Friday kind of gig, but my Thursdays are such that I have my afternoons off, and I have Mondays off, but I use my Mondays to hang out with my friends in real life so that I can, you know, get social interaction with human faces. Very important. Touching grass is extremely important. Okay, let's fucking do this. I'm so excited. Okay. I don't know if we'll get through the whole thing today. I don't know. It depends on how my voice holds out. I don't have to do the regular judge's voice, which is good, but we'll see. Alright, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah. The girl. Let her go. Shut up. Come closer, and I kill her. Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. Dang. Hey, oh my god, there's so much cut in this! I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Terry Falls, kidnapping, murder, death penalty. After escaping, Falls met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, recaptured on Eagle Mountain about 8 hours after his escape. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. He's looking good, but that sure is a hospital bed. 6 years earlier. February 16th. A historic day. I'm so excited. Ugh. I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm going to die. I never should have accepted this case. Good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia. I didn't do nothing. I swear, I didn't kill nobody. Terry Falls. My first client. I never looked at Phoenix as being cool. I always saw him as a loser who has his moments. He is, but like, he looks hot in that picture, you have to admit. Sentenced to death 5 years ago, and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere.
But Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago.
Ugh. Sorry, I told a little lie.
Oh boy.
But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody.
Sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? Eek! I'm really sorry.
They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that.
2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. She's hot. The police believe that Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman?
Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped.
So that much is true. He did meet with the victim.
But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true.
I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. Hold on, I just want to see. He's 25? Damn. And she was 23. She's kind of... I'm looking respectfully. Anyway, what do we have for evidence? Valerie's autopsy report. Okay, and then... Oh, it's brand new and sparkles in the light. I think I know who this is! Yeah! Okay, fine. Hey.
You're not gonna figure out the truth by just staring at the guy.
Why are you here?
I came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big scary lion's den. I thought maybe you'd like someone to play with.
Where is Mr. Grossberg?
That old man is probably still in bed. I bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep.
Oh yeah, he's an alcoholic. I forgot about that. I forgot that he was an alcoholic. Important note about Grossberg.
Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando.
I didn't say. So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me?
No. You've got it all wrong. Today, you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for a first client.
Yeah, thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though. Culprit and the victim, but the mystery man not. Yeah, everyone's hot except Terry. Sorry.
Relax. I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well.
Really?
However, unlike a certain somebody who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career.
Genius?
Well, it's about time to head in, kid. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time.
How old are you? Okay. I feel away. A solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. Partial plot. To dream with the Morgan's Canada. Yeah. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. missed him. Oh my god, I gotta go full Canadian, eh? Court is now in session for the trial of Terry Falls. This will take me a minute to get into. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I love him. I hate him, but I love him.
The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. I understand the lawyers for both sides are newcomers?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey.
Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm having trouble doing the low voices today.
Okay. So you're the new prosecutor everyone is talking about, eh?
Never noticed the noose around the defendant's neck? For real?
I didn't notice it. Okay, I'll have to look. They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. At 20, Your Honor. I guess our little kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet, huh?
Infant! Come on, Mia. You can't lose. Not to someone younger than you.
Young people running a trial. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from a police wagon. Is that correct?
Precisely.
The defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day that the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered.
So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death?
You got it, kitten. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement.
Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Falls, was sentenced to death in this very court.
This is also Edgeworth's first case?
It is not. It is not. We will see his first case in another game.
His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. A truly horrible crime. I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted. Correct. But in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony.
A witness's testimony.
The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throw his young victim into the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered.
So Miss Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away.
That policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be. Exactly. The victim. The same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne.
I want to scrape him against the pavement.
Aha! I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago, with only one thing on his mind: to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now.
Huh?
Yes, yes. It's quite obvious that the defendant is guilty.
Wait a minute, that's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor.
Watch yourself, Miss Fey. I'm not sure I care for your word choice or your tone of voice.
He's doing the Von Karma pose.
Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders.
Why you're even younger than me, you hypocrite.
Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness. I call the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation of this case.
This man is related to Luke Atme. Which one? The judge?
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Gumshoe! I love you.
Gumshoe, Dick Gumshoe. I'm the homicide detective in charge of the case, sir. I finally got promoted to the detective division half a year ago.
I don't believe anyone asked you about that.
Hey, ma'am, you got any idea how much work it takes?
What is it?
You're really gorgeous.
He's right. And that's why it's wife weekend, everyone. Excuse me?
No, seriously, my heart, it's aching for you. Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache. Okay, I got it.
Explain where the phrase came from. What phrase?
Hoser? Now, detective, tell us about the incident.
Yes. Oh my god. There's too many voices.
Yes, sir. Right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran on the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. Not much is already stated in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more details about the incident itself. Yes, sir. I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. This is a sketch of Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. And the river that runs under there is the Eagle River.
But he always says Zvari, which is different than aha.
The victim and the defendant met there, on top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured at a police checkpoint as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. I see. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there. Your Honor. If you would listen to the testimony we have prepared, I'm sure you will be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm not sure I like you wagging your finger at me like as though I were some hoser.
There it is.
Yeah. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Yes, sir. What's a hoser?
Here we go, Mia. Hang on.
Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain.
Okay, that's basically what you just said.
Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Naturally. Now, would the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination, coming right up.
Hey, settle down there, kitten.
Maybe we should get the defendant's account first, since he will hear everything and be influenced by others' accounts. No making sense allowed, partial bullet. This is Ace Attorney.
If you keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee.
I'm not trembling. It's just cold in here.
The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, alright. Especially for a beginner.
I don't need you to worry about me. I mean, the defendant, the witness, everyone's a beginner in here.
You got me there. Maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you've got, kitten.
It's okay, Mia. Stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all last night watching. I wonder whose videos she watched. Okay. This unknown person. You have no idea who it might be, right?
Sorry, but I'm afraid I do.
What?
The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls.
What?
The defendant? The defendant called her. Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls.
A note?
Yeah, a top secret memo that she left in her desk.
Bet. Okay.
According to this note, it seems the one who called her to the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Falls.
Whose bright idea was it to keep that note from me?
Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer.
It's that detective's fault. He's the one that said unknown person.
Yeah, he led you on. Hey now, don't make that face at me. I just said that way because the prosecutor told me to. Oh, Edgeworth already got the claws in.
Was that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky.
So true, Mia.
She's like, wow, he's actually quite a bitch.
Okay, I do want to see this.
Falls, 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Wear a white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. This time, tell her this time the whole truth must come out.
Interesting. We know that name.
Okay. A bridge up in the mountains? But why meet there?
Because it is a very important place to the defendant, that's why.
Hi, Maddie! Yeah, change in the schedule, and you're also deep into door 5. I get it. Witness tampering. Yeah, he's already learning.
What do you mean by that? If you remember, 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto a bridge, and it was there that he killed his hostage. And the place where all of this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Falls. Huh. Returning to the scene of the crime. How nostalgic.
Was the body of the victim discovered right away?
Canadian judge, yeah, he did throw out a hoser already. It's impossible to say the word hoser without the accent, for me. That's just such a Canadian word. Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great. We even got to say, "Don't move! We've got you surrounded."
Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that?
The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly?
Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right?
If that's what happened, then she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Falls, but she left a note on her desk about it. If only I had noticed it earlier, maybe she'd still be alive.
I wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. Mr. Falls had a car then?
Like, don't you know? That one feels a little bit more like you could say it if you're Wisconsin or Minnesota, like, don't you know? But hoser, is so Canadian. And I picked that up. And instead of saying sorry, I say sorry. Oh, sorry. Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right? What? You mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves.
Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything?
This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. She's so hot. It's, oh man, rest in peace, Queen. Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there. Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable.
The victim. She was stabbed in the back, correct?
Yeah. Huh. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back.
We're talking about a woman here.
Gender is irrelevant. You can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back nice and firm. The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car? Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange. Do you? Anyway. Mr. Falls over. Okay.
That certainly is some impressive police work.
Well, no. Actually, it was way too close for comfort. We set up that checkpoint just after 5 p.m. We figured that Mr. Falls might just try to run.
What do you mean it was too close for comfort?
The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30 p.m. And it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint.
That was kind of close. Any later and Mr. Falls could have slipped right by.
Listen up, kid. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony.
A trap?
Walk into it carelessly, and it'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh?
No, it's not!
Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you better get some more information. And if you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for contradictions afterwards.
The ever-famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those.
Alright, let's go to that thing Gumshoe fucking said that was like, this doesn't seem conspicuous. I want to learn more.
What did the defendant have to say about this photo?
What he always says, ma'am. I didn't do- I forgot his voice already. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing. That's all he says. Nothing. I would say he did nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car. It's just what he always says, Your Honor. And then he always says, sorry, I told a little lie. Or something like that. Well, in any case, it seems he was caught and arrested. Precisely. Alright. But I see something strange, because in this, wear white scarf for identification. Where's the white scarf, bestie?
Witness!
What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye?
I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that.
You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Ms. Faye, I'm not sure I like this. Say there, little kitten. Want a piece of my coffee candy?
God, coffee candy fucks. Okay, Diego, give me.
Candy? Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee.
Ugh. Come on, Mia, shake it off. You're a lawyer. Detective!
Yes, ma'am.
This photo. You said that there was nothing peculiar about it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim.
No.
It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like. Thus, this special request.
I
have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo.
Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am.
And you stopped there? You should have looked for it. Almost like Naruhodo's first objection. Yeah, I kind of forgotten about that. I'm not trying to remember it because I want to go into those games like as fresh as I can. Because I will eventually stream them one day. The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this?
I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you were searching so desperately for. Is it this one, perhaps?
That is periwinkle. Or light blue. Ah.
Where'd you find that, sir? On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation. Why? Why didn't you tell me? I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel.
Alright, gay boy.
It's the safest place I know. That shot sure has flair for the dramatic. It's not exactly white, as the color requested, but as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for.
It looks like it spent some time in the mud. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! There is no defense on attack.
Yeah. Not surprising, it was drizzling on the mountain that day.
Prosecutor Edgeworth. He was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time.
The court will accept the scarf into evidence.
Okay.
Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is all right with you, isn't it, Ms. Faye?
Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck. She's so real, dude. She's so funny. God, I love you. Mia, I love you. I've always loved you. I loved you. This is the first case I ever played, and I loved you from day one. I've always loved you. Every year on my Facebook, there is a memory that pops up. That's just the words in all caps, Mia Faye. From when I was playing this game for the first time. This case. I was immediately like, Jesus Christ. Was she always this violent? Oh yeah. She's a Fae. Maya's also violent. Pearl is violent. It runs in the Fae blood, I think.
Very good. Now, if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively, and with hard evidence, that Ms. Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet on the bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there.
That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it. Everything is moving at his whim.
Don't forget, kitten, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius.
A genius, huh? And I respect it, literally. And I was attracted to it.
Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off. Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that this bridge is very high up. It is about a 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say that it was a well-intentioned third party. Aha! A potential witness. So why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify. The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So, as you can see, Terry Falls had both the motive and the opportunity. Edgeworth's strategy is to make you look incompetent, hoping for you to nitpick only to reveal it was pointless. Yes. Yeah, he's really, like, mind games galore. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge. Ha! The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty. Not again! That's not fair! I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. What do you mean, Okay. Who is this eyewitness? She's a college student. Oh, wrong. She's a college student. A female college student? That's right. Meaning she's female and a college student, ma'am. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her. Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her. Hey, it's been so long! For the time being, we're not relying on the witness's statements. That is all. The fuck you mean,
What is that supposed to mean?
The prosecution has other more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student. A female college student, eh? It means she's female and a college student, sir.
Gumshoe, I love you.
If you must absolutely hear her testimony, you'll have to give us a good reason why. Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question. The photo.
Miles's coat is so silly.
The victim is wearing a scarf in that photo, alright.
So, about the witness who took this photo. What was this person doing all the way in the mountains?
She was taking photos of wildflowers, apparently. There are many unusual types of flora on that mountain, Miss Faye. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there. The spirits? Now that you mention it, this photo. This cloudy fog-like thing. Is it a ghost? I don't believe it. No, Your Honor. No, I don't think it's a ghost.
Mia's the only one with the brain cell. Yeah, Diego Armando is too busy sipping on his coffee to participate in the brain cell having.
Drizzling, huh? That's right. There was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. But not as dreary as the mood that's in this courtroom right now. Looks like a cold front just moved in. In any case, the point is that the area was quite damp. There was even some fog. I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something. Scary.
Is that part of the witness's testimony as well? I just realized this would be the first time one would see Edgeworth if this is the first game in the series. Is Edgeworth even mentioned in the game before this case?
Yes, he is.
He's mentioned, but he's also, like, gone back to Europe, is what they said. Why are all Maddie, I was wondering the same thing. Why are all the pictures in this game in black and white? I think it has to do with memory on the Game Boy Advance at the time. That's my guess, is that they didn't have the memory to put them in color. But yeah, actually, Partial Bullet, because this was my very first Ace Attorney case ever, this was my first introduction to Edgeworth. That's why I didn't like him right away. I didn't realize, like, how much I related to him and, like, how likable he actually was. Yeah, it's just, don't experience Ace Attorney like I did. Play it in order.
Of course it is. He pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. I remember that happening once myself. It was really brutal.
I forgot he said that.
Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed? Or were you the one getting pushed? Or does it mean that you pushed someone down like that once? His mind-boggling tales and the way he said brutal? I wonder if he's Canadian. Save your nasty look for the right person. Huh? Take a look. Poor baby. The court record seems to have wet itself.
Why do you say things like this, Diego Armando? Hey, watch where you spill your coffee.
The court record, huh?
You started with Dual Destinies. I haven't played the game since. Yeah, that's a strange way to start, admittedly.
So in other words, there was a struggle between the criminal and the victim, huh? That's what the witness said. Well, it looks like she didn't remember about the scarf. But from what she said, it sounded like a pretty violent fight, ma'am. The area was wet from rain. The bridge was probably wet too. Which would explain why the scarf was all covered in mud. But there's something about this testimony that's still bothering me. Talk about a surprise. I had no idea there was a photo. Diego's always been like this.
He's a US judge. He's just from Minnesota.
So what do I do? You really still believe him? Mr. Crybaby, I mean. Of course I do! So the little kitten believes in fairy tales, huh? In that case, the answer's obvious. If what you believe is the truth, And that means somewhere, hidden in that testimony, is a contradiction. One huge contradiction waiting to be discovered. That's your chance.
I think I remember what this is, but I think just logically this doesn't make sense, because if this was muddy, but she wasn't muddy, so the stabbing must not have happened on the bridge physically. So at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct?
Yeah, and fog too. Just a generally soggy atmosphere.
I want to see this for a second. Okay. What was the other? This? Yeah, the bridge is out. That's so scary. Did they know about Phoenix before this case? Man, her first two clients were both crybabies, I guess. That's funny. Oh, that was the moment. I was like, oh, I'm in deep. I'm in deep. Forget about her weird sidekick over there. I want her, carnally. That might have been the moment I went to Facebook and put in Mia Fey. And nothing else. And my friend Jay was like, yeah, I get it. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere. But this is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk. Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. What is it about the photo of the trunk that doesn't fit with the conditions that day? It would be her coat has nothing on it. Naturally, the answer is right here. The victim's coat? As far as I can see, there's nothing strange about it. That's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud, or at least water. That's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beer was befouled. I'm learning about hockey, by the way. I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If your honor had fallen in the shower instead of on a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, would be wet, but not muddy. Fortunately, I have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day? The surface of the bridge, huh?
A real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like this.
Neither would a real woman. Of course I can. Here's the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy. You just gave it to me, you fucking idiot. The evidence is this scarf. Is the victim's haircut different in both shots? Oops, sorry. No, she's just got her hair pushed to the side in that one, and then in this one it's falling in front of her face. But it's completely reasonable that her hair might fall in front of her face. They just drew her cuntier in that close-up. No, same hair. Ah! It should be obvious. If the scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy, it means that the bridge was obviously covered in mud. I had to step out for a bit and I walked into Miles saying wet and I had to do a double take. No! He grumbled the goo! Oh my god, it's my favorite Miles Edgeworth line! No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo. Hey, same to you, buddy. I love she just said, you're a bimbo too, bitch. I know a bimbo when I see one, and she's right. And she's right, she should say it. Ms. Faye's assertion makes perfect sense to me. I do admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the question is, why is there a contradiction? Huh? For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we? Alright. It's not like he's really giving me a choice here.
You're doing pretty well for a little kitten.
Mr. Armando.
No matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. It's either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated that she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it?
Bimbo? Happens a lot. Walk in the weird lines. I don't think I would ever call a lawyer a bimbo. Idiot perhaps, but not a bimbo. Well, you're not Miles Edgeworth, and who is a misogynist. You're gay because you like the opposite sex. Or wait, you're gay because you like the same sex. I'm gay because I hate the opposite sex. We are not the same, Miles Edgeworth. Every time he calls her kitten, I cringe. Yeah, he's cringe. But I love him.
False evidence. It's one of those three.
What you said just now, I'm not sure I like that. That wasn't me, Your Honor. It was the coffee aficionado over here that said it. This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know.
Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court. But we won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as the flimsy scam it really is.
Yes. The false evidence in this case is the witness's testimony, I think.
Dudes rule. Bros rock.
It's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen?
Yeah, that's what the witness told us. And remember, we are thousands of feet in the air.
That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all.
That's true. It's not just true, it's the truth.
Hang on, I gotta send this picture to somebody really fast. It's very important. It's not just true. It's the true. It's the truth. Sorry, I'm like losing my mind. Hell yeah. That's my favorite joke from that whole thing, I think. Is the... Then remember, we are thousands. Because the way it comes back around is so funny. I have a friend who loves this character so much that she has a cardboard cutout of him in her bedroom. And I just need her to know that we got to this line, and I had forgotten that we say this so much that I forgot that this was the origin.
If there was a truly decisive witness in this case, I'm certain that boy wonder over there would have called them in the first place.
Your Honor, the defense requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all.
You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We are prepared to present our witness at any time.
Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time. What Mr. Edgeworth said kind of worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth? His brain is just coffee. Now let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes.
This is it, Mia. The battle begins here.
Witness, what is your name and occupation?
We know you. We know you well.
Everyone is so silent that I can hear their hearts going pitter-patter. Ooh. When I look at you, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double-double in a dozen donut holes. Those are Timbits! He's fake! He's fake Canadian! Maybe he is Minnesotan at all. A double-double and a dozen Timbits. Yeah, her blazer is a zip-up. Edgeworth doesn't want to call on a woman! Partial bullet, you're so right. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite. Hey, not so fast. As I said before, this witness is very sensitive and delicate. I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Miss Fay, you could learn a lot from this man. If he's such a gentleman, he sure doesn't act like one to me.
Sir?
Hey? Yes, my dear?
This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes.
Oh yeah, her voice was higher. I have to remember the voice I gave her. Give me a moment to calibrate into it.
Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause.
Not at all. It's no trouble at all. Now then, may we please have your name and occupation?
My name is, Melissa Foster. I'm a college student, a freshman in a literature department.
You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct? And you were the one who took this photo? Is that accurate?
How can you be so mean?
Now see here, what are you doing shoving that in her face like that? Huh? But it's just a photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous. Next time I'll be forced to penalize you. Oh, I don't like the turn this has taken. Is she staring at me?
And you would be?
Huh? I'm the defense attorney. My name is Mia Fay.
I see. So you are...
Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best. I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then, I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly, they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. And right after that, I called the police.
By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? I believe the map would be of help here.
I was standing right over here. I was standing in a beautiful field, surrounded by tall cliffs.
So you took the photo from that location, eh?
I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to.
Ho ho ho, what a cute camera, just like its owner. Alright then, Miss Fay, time for your cross-examination. But I warn you, make the witness cry again and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel. Okay, well hopefully I can press all the things, because I do want the dialogue. I don't remember if Edgeworth or Mia says anything funny. Did you say wildflowers?
Yes, the mountain is famous for its beautiful spring wildflowers.
But it's only February.
Well, I couldn't wait for spring to come.
Ho ho, I know just how you feel. It's just like when I first started growing this glorious beard of mine. I just couldn't wait, so I wore a dyed blonde Santa beard until mine grew in properly. That is so lame. Would you mind if we got back to the facts of the case, Your Honor?
I noticed.
Was there anything strange about the two of them?
I'm a bad girl. I know I am. It looked like they were having a really serious conversation up there. So I decided to watch them, like some kind of peeping Tom.
No, not at all. Everyone's like that. I love watching other people fight too. In fact, I can't get enough of it. Actually, that's why I took this job in the first place. Too much info, Your Honor. In any case, it's perfectly natural for you to have kept watching them, especially dressed as they were.
Oh, anyway, I was watching them very closely.
I keep forgetting that her voice is higher. Oops. Sorry. Pouring out water. It's that time again.
Do you have any idea what they were fighting about?
Huh? No, I have no idea. Why do you ask for that?
Oh, I just thought that maybe you overheard what they said.
I would never eavesdrop. I've got more class than that.
That's right, Miss Faye. Don't drag the witness down to your level. Why did you take a photo?
Well, the two of them were really going at it. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a news reporter. I guess that part of me just kind of took over.
Smells like a lie to me. Yes, I understand completely. Even now, I can't completely abandon my boyhood dreams. I still use my grandson to test my comedy routines on. So you wanted to be a comedian, huh? Not that it has any bearing on this.
All I could do was to use my camera. So, I took the photo of the crucial moment and gave it to the police.
You called the police?
Yes, because it looked to me like the murderer was going to try to escape.
We were already moving before the call even came in. Thanks to the victim's note, we had already started our operation.
My friend texted back in all caps, "Fuck yeah," with a ton of exclamation points. That's my fucking boy, and a ton of exclamation points.
That was certainly tough luck for the criminal, eh? If Terry Falls isn't the criminal, then there must be something strange in that girl's testimony. Be careful, kitten. That girl has the judge wrapped right around her little finger. You're going to have a tough time poking holes in that testimony of hers. You're going to have to come up with something really good, Mia.
I love she ignores 50% of what Diego Armando says. I think that's so fucking funny. Judge could be biased toward martial artists. More like biased toward hockey players, I would say. So I don't think that you did that, because the thing is, if you were located where you thought you were, we would have been able to see the broken parts of the bridge, I think. Yeah, that's not correct. That ain't it. But I don't know if this is the right statement. And then you called the police. Okay, I think it might be that one. We'll try this one, and if it's not this one, it's the second one. Okay, it's the second one. That's fine. Your Honor, what do you think of this to the witness's statement? I guess I don't think of anything. Okay, we do have a penalty. Can you just let it slide? Okay. How could you have noticed them? Okay, never mind. I guess I need to use something else. My bad. Okay. I don't think you could have. Oh, you know what? I bet it's this. I'm stupid. Okay. I had the right point, just the wrong evidence. Witness, when you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified that you saw the two of them starting to fight. Normally, that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that?
Well, you see...
How could I attack the witness like that? Oh no. The photo we presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it. No! My apologies, young lady, but Ms. Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. He can certainly downplay a situation, can he?
I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up. The film, I mean.
You ran out of film.
This photo was the last one.
What? Unfortunately, that is the truth. I personally examined all of the photographs she took that day. All of the other photos are of the witness herself, playing among the wildflowers.
The witness herself? Then who took the photos?
Well, you see, my camera has a timer feature built into it.
So you took photos of yourself? I remember taking some photos of myself once too. Please, no details. It seems that Ms. Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all. Wait, just a minute. Well, if she had no film left, she couldn't very well take more pictures, eh? Miss Foster, perhaps then you could tell us about a different sort of photo. Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes. That is the lamest shit he's ever said, guys. Wow. He's 26. Oh my god, he's baby here. That's crazy. Okay.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet.
Girl, that is not gonna help. He's gay. Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed.
Yes, Mr. Judge.
Boy, this guy is really a sucker for sweet talk. Huh. It looks like the other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all the attention. Yeah, it's sickening. That should be me up there! Okay. You notice two people standing on the suddenly they start fighting. Victim? Okay. Oh, this is so baby. The victim. Why do you think she tried to run away? With her police training, she certainly knew better than to turn her back on a criminal. This was a large, powerful man with a knife. Excuse me. If it had been a quaggy woman like you, I'm sure she would have acted differently. I'm gonna bite your finger off. Quaggy? Why you... If it had been me, I probably would have jumped into the river. There's still something wrong with this testimony. So you were saying Sergeant Hawthorne wasn't able to get away from him?
Well, it's a narrow bridge and it was swaying back and forth. If you ask me, both of them were in danger of falling off. I only wish he could have done something to help her.
That seems to make sense. I wonder about that. Something seems kind of off. Does it now? You have a good sixth sense. When you feel that something's off, that's when you need to figure out why. If Terry Falls isn't the criminal, then there must be something strange in that girl's testimony. Okay, yeah, we already heard this. I think this is where I show the map, right? Because there's no way that she ran, because the bridge is broken. Witness! Your testimony is a joke!
What? But I just...
Miss Faye, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry! I think I shall. One short testimony and two bad contradictions. There's no passable excuse! You say there were two contradictions? It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well then, she would have hit a dead end. You said 10 yards, but she couldn't have ran even 5. Because Dusky Bridge is collapsed on that side.
Ah!
What does this all mean? It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it. This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court? Just a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. It's nice that she at least calls him Mr. Edgeworth instead of just Edgeworth. Like, she's at least polite. Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? There's only one major mistake in this diagram. What did you say? What are you referring to? It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred.
It's a very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it. So you're saying? I'm saying that even though this bridge is currently in disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove the bridge was broken during the incident. That's ridiculous! You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. I apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. Huh, that guy's good. Huh? What do you mean? He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, alright. That diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. Miles, Madam Bimbo. That's good. That's good. What? The coward! Well, Miss Faye, it seems you've once again made a reckless accusation.
I'm so sorry. I should have been more careful myself.
No. It wasn't your fault at all. Now then. Oh, that like became a different voice for a second. There was more gravel in that than I intended. Now then, shall we go on with the trial? I'd like to establish once and for all what it was that the witness actually saw. Indeed. All right, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony?
But it's so hard to go on.
We're all on your side, Miss Foster. There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw.
Yes, sir. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw.
Witnessing such violence must have been difficult.
Yes, sir. I'm still shaken up.
If he accepts his testimony as it is, we're finished. Just don't say that. Oh well, maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. I make a really great mocha latte. This trial isn't over yet. That's what I like to hear. All right, Miss Faye, your cross-examination, if you please. The contradiction is staring you right in the face, Mia. Go on the attack. Okay. Are you saying that the victim didn't fall down on the bridge?
Actually, maybe she did fall.
Of course she didn't fall down on the bridge. If she had fallen down, this photo wouldn't make any sense. If that was the case, her coat would have been all muddy. If you don't mind, I was asking the witness. No need to be so rude. Well, young lady?
Of course she didn't fall down. The man in the prison uniform grabbed her before she could.
One step's too slow. And then what did the defendant do after that? Indicator, oops. You personally witnessed that?
Yes.
Did anything strange happen when he did that?
Well, I don't know if you'd call it strange or not, but that's when the victim's scarf fell off.
You mean this scarf? Her words match what we found at the scene. I don't see any problem. You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself?
Yes.
Considering the size of the defendant, I don't think it would be that difficult. Yes, but let's remember they were on a narrow bridge that was ready to collapse. Is it even possible for him to have carried a dead body on a bridge like that? Well, the fact of the matter is that he did. That kind of talk is just silly. Wow, why did he get so emotional all of a sudden? Miss Faye, if you think there's some other possibility, please share it with the rest of us. Why do you say that? It's already a broken down bridge hidden away in the mountains. Doing anything more to hide the corpse would just be going overboard, wouldn't it?
Yes, but that mountain is famous among hikers. A surprising number of people go up there.
But it's February, right? And it was raining that day, correct? That doesn't stop people in this city.
There's also a small temple and a channeling dojo there. You know those monks. They just love cold, isolated places.
I think the witness is trying to say that the corpse could have been found at any time. Besides, the witness is merely reporting what she witnessed with her own eyes. Oh, oops. Something about this testimony is bothering me. But what? Hey, kid. Have you ever put salt in your coffee? No. Why would I? Why not? Huh? It may actually go better with coffee than sugar, right? This is apparently a thing that people do. I've never tried it, though. Listen, my point is, if you're not sure, you might as well, add a ton of salt to it. It might bring out the rust in something, like a piece of evidence. He's right, Mia. Go present something. You've got nothing to lose. By the way, I wouldn't put salt in my coffee. The two don't go well, after all. I've heard people do that, though. And you were absolutely certain that it was my client who was carrying the body?
Well, he was wearing a prisoner's uniform, but as for his face...
So you were saying you didn't get a clear look at his face?
Well, they were far away and it was raining as well. I thought I was only supposed to say exactly what I saw.
Excellent! You're a remarkably honest young woman. Something about... Okay, yeah. I want to see something. There's like no blood there. I don't think this is relevant yet. I'm no caffeine drinker, but putting salt in your drink sounds awful. I don't know. Apparently some people do it. Oh wait, I do want to see... What did this say again? It's time motion, okay. Here you over the car. I suppose that's the only way you could see me. Hold on. Couldn't he have dumped the body? Hell yeah. A killer not wanting his victim to be found. I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found. Well, what is it? Take another look at the map of the area and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. Ah! In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. If 10 murders were to occur at that same spot above the Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body into the water. Order, order, order! I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Ms. Faye, but I must admit it does seem odd not to have thrown the body in the river. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? How sad. Perhaps Ms. Faye would do well to try taking a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. Ms. Faye, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all. No. But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Surely you... Oh, I just combined Canadian Edgeworth suddenly. Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. That's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Please, witness, go on with your testimony.
I'll try.
All you have to do is tell us only what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. Who is he talking about?
All right, I'll do my best. After he stabbed her in the back...
Oh yeah, this is the same thing. Carried her to the car. To the broken... Ooh, okay. New.
What did the man do then?
Oh, naturally, he got in the car and was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you have to call the police.
And so that's when you called the police. You're sure that you saw all that with your own eyes?
Yes, I'm 100% certain.
Think about this, okay. Well, so we have that news statement. The killer broke into the trunk of the car. I don't think that's true. Because we would have seen... Well... That is damaged. But I don't know if that's broken into kind of damaged. Hold on, let me look at these other statements. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Okay, is there anything that would contradict this? I don't think there's anything about this necessarily. I don't think the view is good enough for me to judge. Okay. And I do assume that the car is parked by the escape. I do think it's this. Wait a minute. She wouldn't have been able to see the fucking car. You liar. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time.
Done what?
Made a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Ms. Vey? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes.
Yes, and?
It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car, this outcropping of rock is directly in the way. That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car.
That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine.
But there were trees and shit too. I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court. Yes. This is the location the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Ah! Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but still, you claim to have been able to see the killer's car.
No!
Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of all this ballyhoo? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled into a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. But she was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Oh.
Judge.
What is it?
I think I must have remembered things wrong.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that. Ms. Faye, no one on the face of the planet is perfect. Yes, indeed. Quite true. You know what they say. To err is human, to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here. What? That's not fair! Huh. Save the tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando! Don't look back until the trial is over. Now's the time to go forward. But that wasn't fair! Okay, kitten. You need to relax. Then you need to remember. The other kitten's testimony.
The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there.
So tell me, how did she know that? How did she know that he broke into the trunk? Well, Ms. Foster, until you can explain how you knew that, you're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Well, witness?
Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk because there were marks left on the trunk lid. I'm certain that they were scratch marks from when he broke into it.
What? Well, let me see that photo. It's true. These certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Faye, are you satisfied? The judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said, is there a contradiction in there somewhere? I don't buy it. I don't trust her. Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself. What? You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers. But even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Finally. I finally got her. I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Faye explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was she had put the corpse in herself. There's only one way that witness had the chance to see those scratches. Yes, what is it? Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it?
That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that...
I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open.
But he stole the car!
That had been waiting at a red light, which means that the key would have still been in the ignition.
Oh, I see.
Oh, come now with the frame droppage. OBS, don't do this. OBS, don't do this. That was rude. Anyway. I think we're good. She would be quite strong to lift a body into the car, yeah. Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk. Oh, okay, no more. Frame rate, please. OBS, I'm begging. I'm begging and pleading. Preposterous to even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? The corpse could have only been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. And we already know that at the time, she was taking photographs. Now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Ms. Foster herself. because her camera had a timer. Let's take another look at this camera and see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Why, it's almost as if she had brought this camera just to take this picture.
What are you trying to say then, Miss Fay? That when the crime occurred, Ms. Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed?
Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly. She was not in the field.
Would the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Ms. Foster when the incident occurred? In answering that question, we also make clear Ms. Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer this question. Where was Melissa Foster when the incident on the bridge occurred?
I think she was here. Naturally, the witness was right here.
But that's where the victim, Ms. Hawthorne, was standing.
It was indeed a different haircut.
Order, order, order! Miss Fay, what on earth?
Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. But this would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could have only been before the defendant met the victim.
How asinine. Of course Mr. Falls met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls.
You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne.
What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Who exactly is the victim in this photo?
It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness.
What?
It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster.
Me?
Let's remember that it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believes that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne.
It's been 6 years since you last done this case, hell yeah. But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted.
But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in a federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore.
You are just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof?
I've got it all right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case wide open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like, because he had requested that she wear the scarf for identification. Mr. Falls had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification, namely, this muddy scarf. It was Mr. Falls who requested that she wear this scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster?
No!
Flump. Get got.
Where's Miss Foster?
Dead.
Just kidding. She's not. She's collecting herself in the lobby.
How many times has he said in this trial? I'm kind of curious. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together.
The only question is, why did she do it?
Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit. Well, we'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both to wait in their respective lobbies. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well. This court is in recess. And unfortunately, my voice cannot take more. I'm still suffering from yelling at kids. And then laughing too hard yesterday. You know how it goes. But we'll be back. We'll be back with this game on Thursday. For sure. We'll finish this trial on Thursday for sure. I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to make it through this whole trial tonight. But that's okay. Something to look forward to. But Thursday's... Snake. You created a time paradox. It is indeed time to rest those vocal cords. I also did cry a little bit today. It was over Apollo again. So that's probably also not assisting. So yeah, and I have to do talking a lot again this week. So you know, but we will need Karma. That's what the VOD's for. Don't worry. Thursday. I know there will be a gap, but Thursday we finish this case. Saturday there's no Olkami, and then next Sunday we'll be back. We'll be back with this game, and that means we'll begin the final case of the trilogy, which is very exciting. But in the meantime, you know the drill. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Be good to yourself. Be kind. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Please wear a mask. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you when I see you. Bye.